Yo's Pack, it's Moose and I'm back, and today we are going to be doing a video that I was going to do a little bit earlier and then coronavirus happened, so there was really no need for me to do it anymore. But today's video is going to be a beginner's guide to conventions, since conventions are coming back across the world and a lot of people started cosplaying over quarantine and haven't been to a convention yet. So I made a list of a couple things that are necessary to know when you go to a convention. So without further ado, let's get into it. And I'm also cosplaying today as Zenitsu because why not, and also because the Demon Slayer movie came out a couple weeks ago and I saw it with my friends 2 weeks ago, and even though I had read the manga, I knew it was gonna happen. I still was not prepared. It was so sad. Highly recommend going to see it if you haven't. I'm pretty sure it's still in theaters. If not, I'm sorry. Yeah. So probably the most important thing that you need to know when going to a convention is that cosplay is not consent. And I'm sure you guys have heard this. A lot of people are promoting this idea right now. But basically what this means is that if someone is wearing a cosplay that is more revealing, that does not give you the right to touch them. It does not give you the right to like put your arm around them in pictures unless they say they're comfortable with that, and that's just something that even if it's an innocent intention, you should always ask if you can touch someone before you take a picture with them, before you interact with them, because it can be very uncomfortable if you have the confidence to finally go out to a convention wearing a more revealing cosplay and then someone makes you uncomfortable by touching you or looking at you in a creepy way. Even if it's not intentional, it's still very uncomfortable. So make sure to always ask if you can take a picture with someone, if you can touch someone, if you can give someone a hug. These are all things that you need to be asking for ahead of time before you do them. So that is one very important thing. This woman is wearing shorts. Does this mean I can touch her? No, not without permission. Another thing that I feel like is not talked about very much is if a cosplayer is sitting down or eating. Do not ask them for a picture. Probably don't go up and start talking to them. I've made this mistake in the past, and people usually want to sit down and eat and just enjoy that time. And usually when you're eating, your makeup gets smudged like you're eating. It's not a very pleasant time to take a picture with someone. I would say wait until the cosplayer is up and walking again on their feet. Some people just want to sit down or eat just to rest. They need their time, okay? It's tiring being in cosplay all day. And I'm sure you guys will understand that once you go to a convention for the first time. As fun as it can be, it is exhausting. So that's something to keep in mind. Respect people's personal space. If they're eating, sitting down, don't ask for a picture.
Hey, can I have a picture?
No, I'm eating.
Let's take a picture together.
No, I'm eating, so no pictures.
Okay, I understand.
Problem solved. Going off of that, the third thing that you're going to need to know when going to a convention is to not get into people's personal space. And this is common, not a call out, but I'm just saying in younger My Hero Academia cosplayers, I'm sure we can all relate to this, those of us who have been to conventions before. So the screaming, the singing, like running up to people, getting in their personal space can be very overwhelming and anxiety-inducing. So try not to do that. If someone is cosplaying something that you love, comfort character, whatever, walk up to them, politely say that you like their cosplay, ask for a picture if you want, but don't run up to them screaming, because this can be very nerve-wracking, anxiety-inducing. Like, you don't know this person, you guys aren't friends. Just be polite about it. You don't have to run up and start screaming. This will help you make friends also, just respecting people's boundaries. So that's another thing to keep in mind.
See, this is my personal bubble, please no.
Oh, my bad. I am so sorry. Thank you. Also at conventions, there's this thing called an artist's alley, which is where vendors sell art, keychains, backpacks, cosplays, like posters, anything you can imagine. It's in the artist's alley. It's awesome. It's so fun. It's like my favorite place to be at a convention, just walking down and seeing all the cool art. But here's something you should know is to not touch anything in the artist's alley unless you're invited to touch it. Don't pick anything up, just look at it. I'm sure you can see it fine without picking it up. It makes vendors very nervous because people do steal sometimes, so in order to make their lives easier, just don't pick anything up. It's disrespectful. Don't do it. Just look from a distance. If you want to buy it, even better. Then you can pick it up and play with it all you want. But just don't touch anything unless you're invited to. Oh my gosh, that is such cool art.
No, I worked for 12 hours to draw this. Please don't touch it.
Oh.
You could smudge the ink.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to disrespect your boundaries.
All good.
This one is something that I feel like should be common sense, but sometimes it's not. Adults and minors should never be alone one-on-one, and I've seen this at conventions. Older men usually hanging out with younger girl cosplayers, and it's super creepy, and I know that they're like, oh, I'm your friend, they'll like buy you stuff and stuff. No. If you are under the age of 18, you should not be alone with someone who's like has a significant age gap, well, like starting like probably 3 years. Like if you're over the age of 18, I'm sure if it's like a 17-year-old, 19-year-old, not really a big deal. But if it's like a significantly older man or woman and you are a minor by yourself, that is very dangerous. Do not make friends with older people. Stick to your group. Some people argue with this for some reason. I don't know why. It's not safe. It usually ends up resulting in something terrible. So I would just say stick to your friend group. You can make friends, just make sure the age gap is appropriate, and then it'll be good. Hey little girl, hey little girl. This next one kind of goes off the consent thing. If someone is wearing body paint, do not touch them. It takes a very long time to apply body paint, and it is very hard work. It's tiring, and they don't want it to come off. Like, I'm sure you've seen Homestuck cosplays. Mina from My Hero Academia, they use body paint. So this can come off if you touch them. So if someone's wearing body paint, do not touch them unless you ask. And if they say yes, then go for it. But most of the time, I wouldn't want someone to touch me if I was wearing body paint, just because I don't want it to come off. So be mindful of that. Wow, your body paint is so cool. Can I touch it? No. I am not going to touch it because she said no. And now for a couple of tips that I have found very helpful over the course of my experience going to conventions. I've been going since 2015, so it's been about 6 years, give or take. And I found that I usually forget to eat and drink stuff during the day. So that's a problem because I run out of energy very fast, and then I'm like super fatigued. Don't know why. Oh, it's because you didn't eat anything or drink water, dummy. So I highly recommend bringing a water bottle. Stay strapped with a water bottle. Bring snacks, maybe pack a sandwich because convention food can be very expensive. Usually they have restaurants around it, but if you don't want to leave the convention center, I recommend bringing food. Bringing water or juice or soda or whatever that will keep you hydrated. But yeah, that's a big thing. I would also recommend setting times throughout the day that you want to sit down and eat something. Maybe your friends and you can have a little lunch break. You can set a timer for that if you're gonna forget, but it's very important to eat and drink during the day because I probably have footage on video of this. A woman at Connaught Delete 2016, 2017 passed out because she hadn't eaten or drank through the day and the ambulance had to come. And you do not want to have to go to the hospital and cosplay, let me tell you. That'd be so embarrassing. Well, at least for me. If you're into that, that's great. I'm glad you have the confidence, but I'm not about to go to the hospital and cosplay. Another thing that can be very helpful is bringing a makeup bag full of touch-up stuff like extra eyeliner, eyeshadow palette, brushes, lipstick, lip gloss, body paint, whatever you need, because you're gonna need touch-ups throughout the day. I don't care how perfect your makeup is at the beginning of the day, it is not going to look like that by the end of the day. So usually I go to the bathroom throughout the convention and like reapply makeup or something like that. So that can be very helpful to keep your cosplay looking sharp all day. Another thing going on top of that is bringing your contact lens cases and solution, because your contacts, if this is like your first time wearing contacts for a long period of time, you're usually gonna have these babies in for 8 or 9 hours. So I recommend bringing your contact lens case and solution. So maybe you can take like an hour break, take them out, clean them, whatever, have them in the solution for a little bit, and then put them back in. You will feel so much better, because my eyes dry out so fast during convention. It's crazy. That's a good tip. Take my advice on that one. Okay, so that is going to be all my tips for today. I might make a part 2 to this video because TBH, I have a lot more that I just can't think of at the top of my head right now. So I hope you guys enjoyed, and I hope this is helpful for when conventions finally start to get back into it. I know there's conventions happening in Australia because they're very COVID-free. I'm not sure about the rest of the world, but I know that in America, dates have been set for conventions like next year or later in the year, so hopefully those get to happen. But for now, we can watch this video and get excited and practice our convention etiquette before we go into it. So feel free to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you guys next time.